Discuss MS Final Pre-Boards. As you can see, sinulat ko na lahat. Class, let's discuss MS Final Pre-Boards. As you can see, sinulat ko na lahat ng supporting solutions natin on the board para mas maging efficient yung discussion natin. Okay? Let's start. Let's go to question number 1. The total of the period costs listed above is number 2, the total of the product costs, and number 3, the total of the manufacturing overhead. So ito yung solution natin. Concentrate kayo dito. That's really given. A partial listing of costs incurred during the period at ABC Corporation appears below. Factory supplies, that's product cost and overhead. Administrative wages and salaries, we know operating expense yan, so period cost, 85,000. Direct materials, that's product cost, 126,000. Sales staff salaries, operating expense or period cost, 30,000. Factory depreciation, that's product cost and overhead. Corporate headquarters building rent, so basically office rent yan, so operating expense or period cost, 43,000. Indirect labor, that's product cost and overhead. Marketing, that's operating expense or period cost, 65,000. And last one, direct labor, it's product cost. Okay, let's double check in totals natin. Total period cost, 85,000 plus 30,000 plus 43 plus 65,000. Total nating class is 223,000. For question number 1, total of the period cost, letter B, 223,000. Let's compute the total product cost, 9,000 plus 126 plus 33 plus 26 plus 99. Total product cost natin, 293,000. Question number 2, total of the product cost, letter C, 293,000. And overhead, 9,000 plus 33,000 plus 26,000. Total overhead, 68,000. Question number 3, letter B, total manufacturing overhead, 68,000. Okay, let's go to questions 4, 5, 6, and 7. Question number 4. Raw materials used. Question number 5, cost of goods manufactured. Number 6, cost of goods sold. And number 7, net operating income. Let's read the given. The following data in thousands of pesos have been taken from the accounting records of XYZ Corporation. Meron tayong sales na 990. And then meron tayong raw materials, WIP, and FG. So we know, gagamit tayo ng T-account dyan. Alright? Sige, so raw materials beginning, 40. Raw materials ending, 70. And then may nakalagay na purchases of raw materials, lagay mo yan sa debit. Sold for X, yung X natin is 90. Yan yung raw materials used. For number 4, the cost of the raw materials used, letter A, sagot natin dyan, is 90. Okay, direct labor. So raw materials used na 90, add natin yung direct labor na 200, add natin yung overhead na 230, we get the total manufacturing cost na 520. Okay? So yung total manufacturing cost, lagay natin yan sa T-account natin for WIP. And yung WIP natin, meron tayong beginning na 70, and then may ending tayo na 50. Sold for X. Yung X natin is the cost of goods manufactured, 540. That's why answer for number 5, letter B, COGM natin is 540. COGM, lagay mo yan dun sa T-account natin for finished goods. Finished goods beginning, according to the second to the last item, is 120. Finished goods ending is 160. Sold for X, you get the cost of goods sold, 500. Sagot natin class for number 6, letter A. And then, number 7, net operating income. Yung first item na given sa atin in the problem is sales, 990. We know, ibabawas mo dyan yung cost of goods sold na 500. We get the gross profit of 490. And then, since net operating income yan, i-minus din natin yung mga expenses. Meron tayong administrative expenses na 150 and selling expenses na 140. Let's double check yung net operating income. Sales, 990. Minus cost of goods sold, 500. Minus administrative expenses 150 minus selling expenses 140, net operating income is 200. Answer natin class for number 7 is boy. Okay, let's go to number 8. If a firm's net income does not change as its volume changes, the firm's, ano kaya ang explanation nun? Dog yung sagot mo dyan. Sales price must equal its variable cost. So, ibig sabihin class, zero contribution margin. So, kapag ka nag-produce, kapag zero contribution margin yan, walang effect yan sa net income. Okay? Dog for number 8. Let's go to number 9. CPA company's high and low level of activity. So, high-low method tayo. For number 9, dito siya. Right? So, tingnan natin. Last year was 60,000 units of product produced in May and 20,000 units produced in November. Machine maintenance cost, 78,000 in May and 30,000 in November. So take note na yung numerator natin is always the cost. Okay? Denominator mo is the cost driver. So 78,000 minus, yun yung for May, and then minus 30,000 sa November. And then yung 60,000 na yan yung number of units in May and 20,000 naman yung sa November. Alright, so makukuha natin dyan class. Let's compute. 78,000 minus 30,000. So yung numerator mo is 48,000. 48,000 numerator 60,000 yung denominator, or sorry, 40,000 yung denominator, 1.2 yan yung variable cost per unit natin. Okay? So meron tayong variable cost per unit. Compute naman natin yung fixed cost. So 78,000 yung total cost natin for the month of May, and then 60,000 dyan yung cost driver natin, number of units. So 60,000 times 1.2 minus mo sa 78,000, okay, ibig sabihin kasi yung fixed cost natin is 6,000. And yung question dyan, using the high-low method, determine an estimate of total maintenance costs. So yung total cost natin, so kung 45,000 yan times the variable cost, add mo yung 6,000 of fixed cost, so 45,000 times 1.2, variable cost natin is 54,000 plus 6,000, total cost natin is 60,000. That's why for number 9, answer natin is B, or boy. Number 10, in the standard cost formula, y is equal to a plus bx. What does b represent? So alam natin, ito yung formula natin for least squares method. And yung b dyan is the variable cost per unit. Dog for number 10. When comparing absorption costing with variable costing, which of the following statements is not true? Alin daw yung mali dito? Isa-isa natin yung choices. Absorption costing enables managers to increase operating profits in the short run by increasing inventories. Yes. Under absorption costing, pag mag-produce tayo ng inventories, mas mataas yung income natin. Boy, when sales volume is more than the production, variable costing will result in higher operating profit. That's also correct. When production is less than sales, variable costing net income is higher than absorption costing net income. C, a manager who is evaluated based on variable costing operating profit would be tempted to increase production. So, mali yun. So, again, under absorption, dapat absorption costing to, okay? Under absorption costing, mas favorable kapag nagpo-produce tayo ng units, alright? So letter C yung mali dyan. Dapat dyan, absorption costing. And then letter D, under absorption costing, operating profit is a function of both sales volume and production volume. That's correct. Number 12, during the month, Pinnacle Company produced 10,000 units of product X. So basically, yung question sa atin is unit cost for absorption and variable costing. So ito yung solution mo dyan, plus. Yung difference natin, alam natin kapag variable costing, yung fixed overhead, hindi siya inventoriable, right? Period cost yan, okay? Hindi siya product cost. Tingnan natin, direct materials, and take note, 10,000 units yung na-produce dito. Direct materials, 10,000 pesos. Divide mo sa 10,000, so that's 1. Inventoriable yan, or product cost yan for both absorption and variable. Direct labor, 20,000 divided by 10,000, so that's 2 pesos per unit. Inventoriable yan for both absorption and variable. Punta ka dun sa variable manufacturing overhead, 5,000 divided by 10,000, that's 0.5. And again, ang difference nila yung fixed overhead. So, fixed overhead natin is 9,000 divided by 10,000, that's 0.9. Hindi yan inventoriable for variable costing. So, add natin yan, 1 plus 2 plus 0.5 plus 0.9, you have 4.4. And then, for variable costing, 1 plus 2 plus 0.5, you have 3.5. Final answer natin for number 12 is letter C, 4.4 and 3.5. Okay, number 13. At the break-even point of 2,000 units, variable costs are 55,000 and fixed costs are 32,000. How much is the selling price? So, ginawa ko dyan, class. Ito yung solution ko dyan. Lagay ko muna yung formula. Break-even point is equal to fixed cost over CM per unit. Tama? So, in this case, given tayo ng break-even point at 2,000. Is equal to 32,000, given din yan, fixed cost, CM per unit, yun yung kukumputin natin, right? So, 32,000 divided by 2,000, na-compute natin na CM per unit is 16. Ang tanong sa problem is the selling price. So, kung meron kang CM, add mo yung variable cost para makuha natin yung selling price. Paano natin makukompute yung variable cost? Nakalagay sa problem, total variable cost, 55,000. I-divide mo sa number of units at 2,000. 55,000 divided by 2,000, variable cost per unit natin is 27.5. Add mo sa CM, plus 16, selling price natin, 43.5. For number 13, letter C, yung sagot natin dyan. Number 14. Okay, how many units of product Y will Mr. Accounting sell at the break-even point? So, tingnan natin. Mr. Accounting Company has fixed cost of 150,000. So, ito yung solution natin dyan. And it produces two products, X and Y. Product X has a variable cost percentage equal to 60% of his 10 pesos per unit selling price. So, si Product X daw, ito siya, meron siyang variable cost na 60%. Tama ba, class? Yung CM ratio niya is 40%. Tama? So, ito yun. And selling price niya is 10. 10 times 40%, contribution margin ni X is 4 pesos. And then, product Y has a variable cost percentage equal to 70% of its 30 selling price. Kung variable cost niya is 70, therefore, yung CM ratio niya is 30%. Selling price is 30. 30 times 30%, CM ni Y is 9. Okay? So, may dalawang products. So, sales mix. Kailangan natin i-consider yung mix, okay? For the past several years, unit sales of product X have averaged 66 and 2/3% of the unit sales of product Y. The ratio is not expected to change. How many units of product Y? So, ito ginawa ko dyan, class. Break-even point, formula natin, may fixed cost tayo. Tama? Yung numerator natin. Denominator, kailangan may weights yan. Okay? Yung sales mix nila. Yung 4, ito yung CM ni X. Yung 9, ito yung CM ni Y. Ngayon, ano yung weights ang gagamitin natin? Ingat ka dito kasi nakalagay, sales of product X have averaged 66 and 2/3% of sales ni Y. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, for every unit ni Y, may nabibenta na 0.67 ni X. Parang ganun. Di ba yung 66 and 2/3 is basically 2/3 yun. Tama? So, now, ang ginawa ko dyan, for every 100% ni Y, merong 66 and 2/3% ni X. So, 66 and 2/3 plus 100%, denominator ko is 166.67. Nakuha mo yan? So, 4 times 66.67 over 166.67 plus 9, yung CM ni Y, times 100 over 166.67, nakuha ko dyan yung break-even point ko is 21,429 units. Okay? Pero ang tanong lang si product Y, si X and Y yan. Okay? So, paano natin i-allocate? Well, same weights yung gagamit natin. Ang tanong si product Y. Tama? So, gagawin ko dyan, 21,429 times 100 over 166.67. So, nakuha ko dyan, class, 12,857. Answer natin for number 14 is dog. Okay, let's go to the next two questions. Let's read the given. GHI Corp produces a single product. The projected income statement for the coming year is as follows. Sales, 50,000 units at 50 pesos selling price, okay? Kaya 50,000 times 50, 2.5 million. So, for number 15, ito yung solution ko dyan. Ito yung selling price niya, 50. Tama? And then, variable cost, the 1,440,000. Tama ba, class? 1,440,000. I-divide ko siya by 50,000 units. Nakuha ko dyan is 28.8. Okay? Yung variable cost natin. So, 50 minus 28.8, contribution margin natin is 21.2. Computing ko na rin yung CM ratio. 21.2, i-divide ko by 50. CM ratio natin is 42.4%. Okay? Sulat mo lang muna. May fixed cost tayo according to the problem, 816412. Number 15, how many units must be sold to earn a profit equal to 10% of sales? So dito, pwedeng mag-algebra ka, okay? Or pwede mong i-substitute yung mga nasa choices. Or, ang formula na ginamit ko dyan, fixed cost over CM ratio minus yung percentage na target natin. Okay? So, 816412, yun yung fixed cost natin. CM ratio natin is 42.4%. Yung target is 10%. Kaya nakuha ko 32.4. So, 42.4 minus 10%, 32.4%. Okay? So, 816,412 fixed cost. Divide natin by 0.324. Nakuha ko dito, class, is 2519790. Pero yun yung pesos. Okay? Ang tanong sa atin is number of units. I-divide natin by 50 pesos. Ano yung 50? Yan yung selling price. Okay? Ito siya. So, divide by 50, you get 50,396. Sagot natin for number 15 is letter B. Actually, pwede mo siyang i-compute, no? So, 50,396, multiply mo yan sa contribution margin, i-minus mo sa fixed cost, makukuha mo dun is 10% of sales. Alright? So, pwedeng ganun. Number 16, assume that the tax rate is 40%. How many units must be sold to earn an after-tax profit? So, alam natin, of 180,000. Alam natin yung formula, fixed cost plus target net income before tax. Ang ginawa ko dyan, 816,412, yun yung fixed cost natin. And then, after tax yung given sa atin na 180. So, 180,000, divide mo siya by 60% kasi yung tax rate dito is 40%. Divide by 0.6, makukuha mo dyan 300,000. 816,412 plus 300,000, divide natin by CM per unit, na-compute natin earlier is 21.2. So, makukuha mo dyan, class, is 52,661 units. Letter B for number 16. Number 17. A firm reported sales of 2 million last year, 100,000 units at 20 pesos each, when the break-even point was 80,000 units. The margin of safety ratio is, so, lagay ko muna yung formula ng margin of safety. Margin of safety is equal to sales minus break-even point. Ayan. And then, since ang given na break-even point is units, yun na rin yung gamitin natin for sales. Sabi dyan, yung sales daw may 100,000 units, break-even point is 80, therefore, margin of safety natin is 20,000 units. Pero ang tanong, margin of safety ratio. Ano yung i-divide mo dyan? Yung sales, okay? 20,000, divide mo sa sales na 100,000, that's 20%. MSR or margin of safety ratio, letter A for number 17. Number 18. Okay, so dito ka mag-focus. Actually, madali lang yung number 18. Parang nakakalito lang siya pero very straightforward. Question dito class, what were total sales for April? How much daw yung nabenta noong April? CPA company has the following expected pattern of collections. 70% collected in the month of sale. So first month is 70%, second month is 15%, and third month is 14%. And 1% is never collected. At the end of May, ingat ka dun sa mga given, CPA company has the following accounts receivable balances. Meron daw receivable from April sales na 21,000, from May sales, merong receivable na 48,000. CPA's expected sales for June is 150. What were total sales for April? Actually, maraming given dyan na hindi mo kailangan gamitin. So, ang ginawa ko dyan, class, yung AR from April sales is 21,000. Given sa problem yan, tama? Now, May yung given, yung current year, May. So, ibig sabihin, kung April, May, 2 months yun, tama? Ilang percent kapag 2 months? 15%. So, 21,000, grinos up ko siya, dinivide ko by 15%. 21,000 divided by 0.15, ibig sabihin yung total sales natin sa April is 140,000. Ayun. For number 18, C yung sagot ko dyan. And then, out of 140,000, makukolek mo yung 70% sa month of April, makukolek mo yung 15%, ito yun, sa month of May, and yung 14% sa month of June. Okay? So, sagot ko dyan, 140,000 for number 18. Let's go to number 19. This is about, okay, how many budgeting? How many units should DEF produce in the second quarter? Okay, DEF company, ito siya, nag-T-account ako dyan, produces plastic microwave turntable. Sales for the next year expected to be 32,500 in the first quarter, 36,000 units in the second quarter. And yung tanong sa ating class is second quarter. Okay, yung UTT account ko second quarter. Alright, now, 36,000 daw yung mabebenta sa second quarter. Since finished goods yan, nag-credit ako ng 36,000. Alright? And then, 42,000 units in the third quarter and 33,000 units in the fourth quarter. DEF usually maintains finished goods inventory at the end of each quarter equal to 1/2 or 50% of the units expected to be sold in the next quarter. So, computin natin yung beginning na finished goods ni DEF, okay? So, again, second quarter, pinag-uusapan natin, ilang percent yung sales ng second quarter? 36,000. 36,000 times 50%. Kasi yun yung mini-maintain na inventory, 18,000 dyan. Okay? Kaya lang, sabi dyan sa next sentence, however, due to a work stoppage, the finished goods inventory at the end of the first quarter, ito yun, okay, is 4,000 units less than it should be. Yung should be 18. Pero 4,000 units less. Therefore, yung beginning mo lang talaga dyan is 14,000. Doon ko nakuha yan. Alright? And then, yung ending na lang yung problema natin. Pero alam natin, class, na yung ending is 50% ng sales ng third quarter. Ilang units yung sales ng third quarter? Nakalagay dyan, 42,000 times 50%, you have 21,000. Solve for X, 21 plus 36,000. Minus natin yung beginning na 14. So, kailangan i-produce is 43,000. Answer natin for number 19 is letter D or dog. Numbers 20 and 21, this is about materials variance. So again, pag variance in the board exam, okay, sulat mo agad sa first page ng questionnaire yung formula natin for variances. Materials, labor, and overhead. Sulat mo agad yun para hindi mo makalimutan. So ito yung formula natin for the materials variance. Okay, number 20, purchase price variance. Number 21, materials price efficiency variance. Let's read the given. BA Corp, a manufacturer of laptops, purchases the components from subcontractors to use to assemble into a complete laptop. Each laptop requires 3 units of part 1, 2, 3, which has a standard cost under Lemian 1.45 per unit. During the month, BA Corp reported the following with respect to part 1, 2, 3. Purchases, ito yung actual natin, 36,000, 24,000 units. I-divide nga natin yung class, 36,000 pesos, i-divide natin by 24,000 units, you get 1.5. Yan yung actual price natin. Ito siya. Alam natin yung formula, actual price times actual quantity, standard price times actual quantity. Okay? So, yung actual price natin is 1.5, yung number of units natin is 24,000, actual natin is 36,000. Yun naman yung given sa problem, 36,000 na purchases. And then, standard price, okay, nandun sa second sentence, 1.45, actual quantity, copy-paste natin. So, 1.5 times 24,000, that's 36. 1.45 times 24,000, that is 34,800. 36,000 minus 34,800, that's 1,200. Since mas mataas yung actual natin, unfavorable. For number 20, letter dog, 1,200, unfavorable. Number 21, take note class na yung na-purchase natin is 24,000 units. Pero yung na-consume or nagamit natin is 20,000 units. Okay? Kapag purchase price variance, yung na-purchase natin. Kapag price efficiency variance, yung nagamit lang natin. Alright? So kaya gumawa ako ng bago. So ito yung gagamitin ko, standard price times actual quantity, standard price and standard quantity. Na-compute natin standard price, 1.45. And then yung actual quantity natin na nagamit is 20,000 according to the problem. Ilang units yung standard quantity natin? Balik ka dun sa second sentence. Each laptop requires 3 units. Ito mo yan? Tingin ka dun sa last na given. Laptops manufactured 6,000. So 6,000 and then 3 daw units per laptop, that's 18,000. Ito yung standard quantity natin. Okay? Multiply natin 1.45 times 20,000. You have 29,000. 1.45 times 18,000. You have 26,100. Minus natin yan, 29,000 minus 26,100. You have 2,900. Mas mataas to. Therefore, that is unfavorable. 21, letter B, 29, unfavorable. Okay, 22 is about overhead. Okay, so again, sulat mo na agad sa first page ng questionnaire yung formula for overhead variances para hindi mo siya makalimutan. Actual, bash, standard, variable, and fixed. Okay, so kabisado nyo na dapat yan. Now, ang tanong sa problem is, what is the variable overhead efficiency variance? So we know, kapag overhead efficiency variance, ito siya, yung binox ko na yan. SVR times AH, compare natin yan sa SVR times SH. Okay, ito yung solution natin. Pero basahin natin yung given. XYZ shop used 7,500 machine hours. So yun yung actual hours. So ito na siya. Tama? Ito siya. Next, it takes 0.9 machine hours to produce 1 unit. 7,500 units were produced. 7.5 times 0.9, yun yung standard hours natin, 6,750. Okay, 7.5 times 0.9, standard hours. So, kailangan natin is standard variable rate. Budgeted production included 6,000 units using 5,400 machine hours. Budgeted variable manufacturing overhead cost is 22.5. Okay, so yun yung given sa atin. Budgeted, walang standard na given. Ibig sabihin, equal sila. Okay, so 22.5. 22.5 times 7.5, you have 168,750. 22.5 times 6,750, you have 151,875. Difference sila. Minus 168,750, 16,875. Mas mataas yung actual natin, yung taas. Therefore, unfavorable. 16,875 unfavorable for number 22. And then 23 and 24, fixed overhead spending variance. Alam natin, ito siya. Alright? And then, volume variance. Alam natin, yun siya. Okay, kaya very helpful. Sa first page ng questionnaire, susulat nyo na agad yung formulas for the overhead variances. Okay, now, doon mo tayo sa spending variance, fixed spending variance. Ito yung formula natin. Kinopy-paste ko lang. Okay, actual fixed rate times actual hours, and then compare natin sa budgeted fixed cost. Alright, let's read the given. BSA Inc. analyzes manufacturing overhead. The following set of information are available. Alright, so meron tayong budgeted and merong actual. And we know, yung first row na yan, actual fixed cost. Tingin ka dun sa actual fixed manufacturing overhead. Nakita mo yung 44,000? Yes, so yun siya. 44,000. Kailangan na natin yung budgeted fixed cost. Punta ka dun sa column ng budgeted. Nakalagay dyan class, 20,000 units produced. So ginawa ko dyan, 20,000 units produced. Tingin ka dun sa fourth item, direct labor hours, 6 minutes per unit. Okay, tama ba class? 20,000, i-multiply ko by 6. Tama ba? Makukompute ko dyan, iyon yung number of minutes or ilang minutes na produce ko yung 20,000 units. Tama? E pinag-uusapan natin number of hours. So, dinivide ko by 60. Kuha mo yun? So, 20,000 times 6, divide by 60, nakuha ko dito is 2,000 hours. Okay? Iyan yung budgeted hours natin. And nakalagay dyan, dun sa third item, fixed manufacturing overhead is 20. Take note, ang kinocompute natin is budgeted fixed cost. Okay? Ito yung budgeted hours natin, 2,000. Times 20, budgeted fixed cost mo is 40,000. So, 44,000 yung first row. Second budgeted fixed cost is 40. Difference nila is 4,000. Mas mataas yung actual, therefore unfavorable for number 23. Dog yung sagot natin. Let's go to number 24. What is the volume variance? Ano yung formula nun? Budgeted fixed cost. Compare natin sa standard fixed rate times standard hours. Okay, meron tayong budgeted fixed cost. Na-compute natin is 40,000. Standard fixed rate times standard hours na lang. Right? Now, nakalagay dyan, yung walang given na standard fixed rate. So, ibig sabihin, iyon din yung budgeted fixed rate natin na 20 pesos. Alright? Ito siya. Ang kailangan natin, standard hours. So, ganito ginawa ko dyan, class. Punta ka dun sa actual units produced. Kasi kapag standard, based on actual units produced yan. So, 19,000, alright? Multiply ko by 6 in yung number of minutes. I-divide ko by 60, makukuha ko yung number of hours. Okay, standard hours. 19,000 times 6, divide by 60, standard hours natin is 19. Okay? Multiply mo sa standard fixed rate na 20, you have 38,000. So, 40 minus 38, that's 2,000. Mas mataas to, therefore, unfavorable. 2,000 boy for number 24. Okay? So, ganun siya. Let's go to number 25 and 26. This is about incremental analysis. Okay? Tignan natin. JKL Corporation, a manufacturer of light bulbs, budgeted sales 500,000 units of light bulbs at 100 pesos per unit for the year. So, yung 100 pesos selling price yan. Okay? So, may solution natin. For number 25, ito siya. Okay? Ito na solution natin dyan. Variable manufacturing cost was budgeted at 40 pesos per unit. Alright? So, selling price mo is 100. Variable cost is 40. Tama ba, class? Contribution margin mo dyan is 60. Sinulat ko lang. And then a special order offering to buy 50,000 units of light bulbs for 58 pesos each was received by JKL. JKL has sufficient plant capacity. Ano ibig sabihin nun? Kapag sufficient plant capacity, meron kang excess capacity, therefore, no opportunity cost. Okay? Walang lost sales to produce the additional units of light bulbs. However, overtime work has to be done at an additional cost of 8 pesos per unit. Relevant cost yan. No selling expenses will be incurred. Should JKL accept this special order, assuming that it would not affect regular sales? Again, walang opportunity cost. Ganito ginawa ko dyan, class. Yung offer sa atin is 58. Right? The selling price natin. How much yung mai-incur natin? Variable cost. Lagi namang relevant cost yung variable cost na 40. Tama? Pero may additional cost tayo na 8. That's why yung contribution margin or yung relevant cost natin dyan, 58 minus, okay, 58 minus 40 na variable cost minus additional cost na 8, CM natin is 10 pesos. Okay? Ilang units yung bebenta natin? 50,000. 10 times 50,000. 500,000. Therefore, tataas yung income natin na 500,000 if we accept the offer. Letter B, yes, because operating income would increase by 500,000 for number 25. Number 26, assume that the available excess capacity for the special order is only 30,000. Right? 50,000 yung in order, 30,000 lang yung capacity natin. Therefore, kapag sinervisan mo yung buong 50,000, meron tayong lost sales for the 20,000 units. And if the 50,000 units being ordered is accepted, JKL would reduce its sales to regular customers in yung lost sales or opportunity cost. Should the corporation accept the order? Na-compute natin earlier, pag in-accept mo yung order, increase ng 500,000 yung operating income. Pero meron tayong opportunity cost. Compute natin yan. Yung originally, binibenta natin sa mga regular customers natin, 100 pesos yung selling price. How much yung pinoproduce? How much yung para i-produce? Variable cost na 40. Yung contribution and margin natin for regular customer, 60. Okay? Ilang units yung lost sales natin? 20,000. 60 times 20,000, di-decrease tayo ng 1.2 million. Okay? So, increase na 500, pero may decrease na 1.2 million from regular sales. So, yung net natin, bababa ng 700,000 yung operating income for number 26. C, no, because operating income would decrease by 700,000. For number 26, letter C. Number 27. Okay, SB Corp produces component X for use in one of its electronic gadgets. Normal annual production for the item is 100,000 units. The costs per 100 units, take note yung given sa atin per 100 units. So ito yung solution ko dyan. Okay? So tignan natin. Of the lot component are as follows. Direct materials, 520. Computing ko yung variable cost, so 520 in direct materials. And then, direct labor is 200. And then, we have variable overhead na 240. Okay, so, yan yung 960 yung variable cost natin. Add natin 520 plus 200 plus 240, you have 960. That's your variable cost, okay? CM Inc. has offered to sell SB all the 100,000 units it will need during the coming year for 1,200 per 100 units. If SB accepts the offer, the facilities used to manufacture could be used in the production, and so on and so forth. So basically, i-compare natin, class, kung i-continue natin na tayo yung magpo-produce or bibili natin from outside. Doon mo tayo sa i-continue natin na tayo magpo-produce. So we know, na-compute natin na variable cost is 960. Ilang units yung ibebenta? 100,000. 960 times 100,000, pero take note, per 100 units yung given sa atin. Divide mo by 100, per unit natin, class, is 960,000. Pag tayo yung continue mag-produce, i-incur natin na relevant cost, 960,000. Pag binili natin from CM, okay, sabi dyan, how much daw ibibenta? 1,200. Tama? Ito siya. So, 100,000 units, yung total, number of units, ibibenta daw, bibili natin for 1,200 for every 100. So, compute natin yan. 100,000 units sa total, multiply natin by the selling price of 1,2, divide natin by 100. Okay, yung purchase price natin is 1.2 million, yung babayad natin kay CM. Pero, let's continue reading. If SB accepts the offer from CM, the facilities used to manufacture could be used in the production component Y. This change would save SB 180,000, so savings. Minus yan sa cost. Alright? And then, in addition, 200,000 cost item included in fixed overhead would be eliminated. Avoidable fixed cost. We know avoidable fixed cost is a relevant cost. So, minus mo yan. Therefore, yung relevant cost natin, kapag binili natin siya, 1.2 million, minus 180,000, minus 200,000, you have 820. So, pag nag-continue tayo 960, pag binili natin from outside 820, ano yung pipiliin mo dyan? Siyempre, bili natin from outside. Makakatipid tayo ng 140. 960 minus 820, 140. Answer for number 27 is letter B, by component X, because of 140,000 savings. Number 28, in deciding whether to replace a machine, which of the following is not a sunk cost? Letter A, the expected resale price of the existing machine. Letter B, book value. C, original cost. D, depreciated cost. Lahat yan sunk cost or past cost. Number 29, the opportunity cost of making a component part in a factory with excess capacity for which there is no alternative use. Kapag may excess capacity ka, wala kang opportunity cost. That's why dog yung sagot natin for number 29. Number 30 and 31, okay, so 30 is ROI and number 31 is residual income. So dito kayo mag-focus. Let's read the given. The following is available for Tristan Corp. Sales, 2 million. Average invested capital, 500. Net income, 300. And required rate of return, 18%. So, ROI natin, formula natin dyan class, operating income over average operating assets. So, dito, walang operating income, pero may net income. Net income, gamitin mo dyan. So, net income, given na sa atin yung average invested capital, 500,000, 300 over 500. ROI natin is simply 60%. Dog for number 30. 31, what is the residual income? Formula natin for residual income, operating income minus average operating assets minus our minimum required rate of return of 18%. Okay? So, 300,000 yung operating income or net income natin. Average operating assets, 500,000. Multiply natin by 18%. Okay? That's 90. 300 minus 90, residual income mo is 210,000. Letter C for number 31. 32 is about EVA. Okay? Dito ka naman. Ano yung formula natin for EVA? EVA is operating income pero dapat naka-after tax minus average operating assets times yung required rate of return natin. And yung average operating assets, actually merong formula yan, no? Total assets minus current liabilities. So yung mga long term lang yung kino-consider natin. Sige, so let's read the given. Okay, so the following year-end data pertain to Look Corporation. Income before interest and taxes, yun yung operating income. Pero dapat after tax, okay? Punta ka dun sa second sentence, Look Corporation pays an income tax rate of 32%. Tama ba kung 800,000? Yung before tax, multiply mo by 68% kasi 32%. 100 minus 32, 68. Times 0.68, 544,000. Ito yung operating income after tax natin. Alright? Now, current assets, 800. Non-current assets, 3.2. Tama ba? 800 plus 3.2 is 4 million. 4 million. Yung total assets natin, i-minus mo sa current liabilities na 400,000. So, 4 million minus 400,000, 3.6 million, ito yung average operating assets natin. Tama? Multiply mo sa required rate of return natin or WACC na 10%, 3.6 million times 0.1, you have 360,000. So, yung operating income after tax is 544, and then yung average operating assets times WACC natin is 360, 544 minus 360, you get 184,000. For number 32, boy, yung sagot natin dyan. Take note class na for number 32, walang given na average operating assets. Kaya kinumpute natin. Total assets na 4 million minus current liabilities, 400,000. So 3.6 million, yun yung average operating assets natin. Number 33. Okay, so transfer pricing. CBA Inc. has two divisions. The handles division which manufactures handles and the assembly division which assembles various parts to produce the main product. The handles division has excess capacity. Ano ulit yung sabi natin? Kapag may excess capacity, wala kang opportunity cost, wala kang lost contribution margin or lost sales. It produces handles at a variable cost of 70. Okay, and the handles can be sold in the outside market for 100. The assembly division requires 1.4 handles. Yung excess capacity is 1.5. Yung kailangan ni assembly is 1.4. O kaya nating servicean yan. Okay? Wala kang opportunity cost. You can buy such handles from outside suppliers at 100. What is the natural bargaining range for the two divisions? Well, ang minimum mo dyan na i-charge kay assembly is 70 pesos yung variable cost mo. Yung maximum is yung market price na 100 pesos. 70 to 100, A for number 33. Number 34. Okay, ABC Inc. is planning to purchase equipment to make its operations more efficient. The equipment has an estimated life of 6 years. As part of this acquisition, a 75,000 investment in working capital is anticipated. In a discounted cash flow analysis, the investment in working capital is. So for example, kasi ito yung timeline natin. For example lang. Alright? So yung working capital, negative siya sa start, year 0. Okay? Pero pag na-recover mo na siya, magpa-plus ka na. For example, year 5 mo na-recover, may plus ka dyan. Alright? So, punta ka sa dog. Should be treated as an immediate cash outflow sa year 0 negative that is later recovered at the end of 6 years pala. So, plus ka sa year 6. Okay? Number 34, dog yung sagot mo dyan. Number 35, 36, 37, 38, capital budgeting. Number 35 is what is the traditional payback period? Okay, 35 yon. Number 36 is, okay, average annual cash inflow. Number 37, annual rate of return, accounting rate of return. And number 38 is NPV. Alright. Mr. Accounting Corp is reviewing an investment proposal. So, dito tayo mag-focus. The initial cost as well as other related data for each year are presented in the schedule below. All cash flows are assumed to take place at the end of the year. So, ordinary annuity. The salvage value at the end is equal to book value, and there will be no salvage value at the end of the investment's life. So take note, walang salvage value at the end of the life. Okay, bigyan tayo ng years 0 to 5. Initial cost and book value. Tama ba class, yung investment natin dyan is 105,000. Okay? Ito siya. Initial investment, 105. And then binigyan tayo ng after-tax cash flows per year. And then meron tayong annual net income. Punta muna tayo dun sa number 35. What is the payback period? So, gaano katagal natin marirecover yung 105,000? Based dapat yan sa cash flows. Tama ba? Year 1, 50,000? Tama? Year 2, 45,000. So, how much na lang? 105,000 yung total na i-recover natin. 50,000 na recover natin sa year 1 minus 45,000 sa year 2. Sa year 3, ang kailangan mo lang na i-recover is 10,000. Tama lang? How much yung total cash inflow natin sa year 3? 40,000. So, 10,000 divided by 40,000, that is 0.25. Okay? So, year 1, year 2, and then 0.25 ng year 3. Therefore, 2.25 years yung traditional payback natin. Boy for number 35. 36, the average annual cash inflow at which Mr. Accounting would be indifferent to the investment. So, ano ibig sabihin yan? So, ganito ginawa ko dyan, class. Number 36, initial investment natin, 105,000. Tama? So, ano daw yung annual cash inflow? Pag present value mo yon, mag-i-equal sa 105,000. Yun yung ibig sabihin ng indifferent. Okay? So, dinivide ko yan by present value of ordinary annuity for 5 years. Nasaan yun? Tingin ka dun sa present value factor sa baba. Okay? Punta ka dun sa present value of an annuity. Okay? Year 5, 2.74. So, 105,000, divide natin sa 2.74, you get 38,321. Answer natin for number 36 is letter C. So, kung i-imagine mo siya, class, ito, sinulat ko siya dito, years 0 to 5, may investment tayo na 105,000. Tama? Now, ano daw yung cash inflow natin per year? Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sagot nyo dyan, 38,321. Pag diniscount mo yung 38,321 na 5 times, okay? Years 1 to 5, using the discount rate na 24%, mag-i-equal yun sa 105,000. Yun yung ibig sabihin ng would be indifferent to the investment. Alright? So, initial investment, divide mo sa PV factor, ordinary annuity. C for number 36. 37, the accounting rate of return. Okay, ano nga ba yung accounting rate of return? Average annual income over investment. Okay? So, doon mo tayo sa average annual income. Tingin ka sa taas, nakita mo yung annual net income na column. Yes? So, paiba-iba siya every year. Kailangan i-average natin yan. So, add nga natin, class, 15,000 plus 17,000 plus 19,000 plus 21 plus 23. Di-divide ko by 5. Nakuha mo ba yung 19,000? Yun yung numerator natin. Now, investment mo dyan is dapat, depende. kapag may salvage value, divide mo by 2, okay? Or yung 105 plus salvage value over 2. Kaya lang nakalagay dun sa first paragraph, last part, there will be no salvage value. Kaya 105,000 yung hindi mo kailangan i-average, alright? So 19,000 divided by 105,000, sagot mo dyan, 18.1%, letter A for number 37. 38, the NPV. Alright, so NPV, present value of cash inflows minus present value of cash outflows. How much yung cash outflow natin? 105,000. Okay? So, problema na natin yung cash inflows. Ang gagamitin mo dyan, obviously, is the cash flows, hindi net income. So, ito yung solution natin. Tingin ka dun sa table. Sa first table, every year, meron tayong after-tax cash flows. 50,000, 45, 40, 35, and 30,000. And then, since paiba-iba yung cash flow natin, hindi equal per year, present value of 1 per year yung gagamitin natin. Okay? Tingin ka sa baba, PV factor, present value of 1 received at year end. So, 0.81 year 1, 0.65 year 2, 0.52 year 3, 0.42 year 4, 0.34 year 5. Multiply mo yan, then add natin, present value of cash inflow is 115,450. 115,450 minus investment natin na 105,000, NPV mo dyan, 10,450, letter B for number 48. Okay, 29. A weakness of the internal rate of return approach for determining the acceptability of the investment is that ano nga ba yung IRR? So, yun yung rate wherein pag diniscount mo yung cash inflows. So, parang ito. Ano yung rate pag diniscount mo yan per year? Okay? Mag-i-equal siya dun sa investment natin. Yun yung internal rate of return. Alright? Ang weakness niyan is DOG. Implicitly assumes that the firm is able to reinvest project cash flows at the project's internal rate of return. Ang assumption kasi sa IRR, actually, sa IRR, disregard mo yung discount rate. Alright? Ang discount rate na ginagamit mo dito is the IRR itself. Okay? Yung cost of capital, hindi mo siya kino-consider. Yun yung mali, yun yung weakness ng IRR. It implicitly assumes that the firm is able to reinvest at the project's IRR. Ang reasonable kasi, may re-reinvest natin yan at least equal to the cost of capital. Alright? DOG for number 39. 40. When ranking two mutually exclusive investments. So, alin yung magiging priority natin kapag ganun? We have to prioritize letter D that has the greater profitability index. Okay? Para maging comparable sila, okay? Kapag mutually exclusive, ibig sabihin, isa lang pa natin piliin, mas important na yung PI or profitability index yung gamitin natin. Alright? So, for number 41, okay, so 41, sinulat ko ba yung 41? Hindi pala. Anyway, if an investment project results to a PI of 0.9, okay, then the projects, so ano yung formula natin for profitability index? PI natin, present value of cash inflows over present value of cash outflows. So what if daw class, 0.9 yung PI na yan? Ibig sabihin, mas mataas yung present value of cash outflows natin sa present value of cash inflows. Therefore, negative yung NPV natin. Kailan magiging negative yung NPV? Punta ka sa DOG. Cost of capital is greater than the internal rate of return. Okay, DOG yan. So, pag mas mababa yung cost of capital or discount, pag mas mataas yung discount rate natin kaysa sa IRR, NPV is negative. Okay? Yung ibang choices, mali. A, internal rate of return is negative 10%. Hindi ganun yan. B, NPV is greater than 0. Hindi. Kasi mas mataas nga yung cash outflow. So, ibig sabihin, negative yan, yung NPV. IRR exceeds NPV. Hindi. Cost of capital is greater than the IRR. Kapag naman yung PI natin is more than 1, yung PI natin, ibig sabihin nun, IRR is greater than cost of capital. Okay? DOG for number 41. 42. In determining a present value, which of the following is correct? Okay. Tingnan natin. The lower the discount rate and the shorter the discount period, the lower the present value. Mali. The higher. Mali na A. Kailan ba magiging mataas yung present value natin? First, pag mataas yung cash flows mo. Second, pag mababa yung discount rate. And third, pag maikli yung discount period. Alright? Iyon yung papataas ng NPV natin. So, mali yung A. Kasi nakalagay lower discount rate, shorter discount period, pero nakalagay lower the present value. Hindi, higher the present value. B, the lower the future cash flow and the shorter the discount period, the lower the present value. Not always the case. Okay? So, dapat dyan, para maging lower yung present value, the longer the discount period. So, mali yung boy natin. Yung C yung tama dyan. Mataas yung discount rate, the higher the discount rate, the longer the discount period, okay, the lower the present value. Yun yung always correct. Letter C for number 42. Letter D, the higher the future cash flow, the longer the discount period, the lower the present value. Not always the case, okay? So, pwede siyang higher the present value. Okay? Kasi mataas yung cash flows. Alright? Pero longer yung discount period. So, pwede siyang lower, pwede siyang higher. So, hindi always correct yung D. Pero yung letter C is always correct. Okay? Numbers for the next 4 items. Capital budgeting ulit. So, 43 to 46. So, focus kayo dito, class. Alright? Straightforward lang naman yan. Let's read the given. Alright, in order to increase production capacity, CPA Industries is considering replacing an existing production machine with a new technologically improved machine effective January 1. The following information is being considered. Bullet number 1, the machine would be purchased for 160,000 in cash. Shipping, installation, and testing would cost an additional 30,000. So add mo yan, 190,000 yung initial cost natin, right? Sige, so ito siya. Initial cost mo is 190. And then, the new machine is expected to increase annual sales by 20,000 units at a sales price of 40 per unit. Incremental cost include 30 pesos per unit in variable cost and total fixed cost of 40,000. Tama ba, class? Kung ang selling price mo is 40 pesos and then variable cost mo is 30, yung CM natin is 10 pesos per unit. Ito siya. Selling price 40, variable cost 30, CM natin is 10 pesos per unit. Alright? Let's go to the third bullet. The investment in the new machine will require an immediate increase in working capital of 35,000. The cash outflow will be recovered at the end of year 5. So, again, yung working capital, negative yan, okay, sa start. Therefore, yung year 0 nating class, ang talagang cash outflow natin is the initial cost na 190 and yung working capital natin na 35,000. 190 plus 35, sagot mo dyan for question 43. CPA Industries net cash outflow. Sabihin sa year 0. Ayan siya. 225,000. Dog for number 43. Number 44. CPA Industries discounted annual depreciation tax shield. So, punta ka dun sa fourth bullet. CPA uses straight line for financial reporting and tax reporting. The new machine has an estimated life of 5 years and 0 salvage value. CPA is subject to a 40% corporate income tax rate. So, ito yung sagot ko dyan. Tama ba? Kinapitalize mo dyan, initial cost mo na 190. Alright? Yun yung cost ng machine natin. Divide natin by useful life of 5. Alright? Multiply natin sa tax rate na 40%. Di ba yun yung tax shield natin? Tama? So, 190,000 divided by 5 years, useful life, times 0.9. Nakuha ko dyan is, so ulit, 190,000 divided by 5 times 0.4. Sorry, 40% yung tax rate. 15,200. Pero hindi pa sagot yan. Alright? Kasi sabi dyan, discounted annual depreciation. So, multiply pa natin yan. Sabi, for the year of replacement. Kailan ba ni-replace? Year 1. Okay? So, multiply mo sa 0.909. 15,200 times 0.909, you get 13,817. For number 44, yung sagot natin dyan. Number 45, the acquisition of the new production machine will contribute a discounted net tax contribution margin. Na-compute natin yung contribution margin earlier is 10 pesos per unit. Ilan yung ibebenta natin? Nakalagay is, punta ka sa second bullet. The new machine is expected to increase annual sales by 20,000 units. Multiply natin by 20,000. Pero take note, before tax yan. Kailangan naka-after tax. Multiply mo sa 60%. Makukuha mo dyan is 120. Double check na natin, 10 CM per unit times 20,000 times 0.6. 120,000. Pero, take note na nakalagay, discounted net of tax contribution margin. So, 120,000 per year for 5 years. Okay? So, equal cash flows per year for 5 years. Ang pang-multiply mo dyan, class, is present value of ordinary annuity for 5 years. Okay? 3.791 times 3.791. Sagot natin dito, class, is 454,920 for number 45. Dog yung sagot natin dyan. Number 46, the overall discounted cash flow impact of the working capital investment. So again, yung working capital natin, year 0, meron ngang cash outflow na 35,000. Tama ba? And according to, punta ka sa third bullet, this cash outflow will be recovered at the end of year 5. So yung working capital mo, end of year 5, meron kang plus 35,000 dyan. Pero take note, year 5 pa yan. So kailangan mo i-discount. I-discount natin yung 35,000 using present value of 1 after 5 years, 0.621. Yung nakalagay dyan. 35,000 times PV factor na 0.621, syempre positive yun. Marireceive mo yun eh. Tama? So, ibig sabihin, 21,375. Ang outflow natin is 35,000. May inflow tayo na 21,375. Yung net natin dyan is 13,265. C for number 46. Okay. Let's go to 47 to 51. Okay, 5 items. Cost of capital naman. Sige. DF Corporation is preparing to evaluate capital expenditure proposals for the coming year. Because the firm employs discounted cash flow methods, the cost of capital must be estimated. Okay, punta muna tayo sa, tingnan natin yung mga given. Market price, 60 pesos. Dividend next year, 3 pesos. Growth in dividends, 10%. The new bonds can be issued with 10% coupon rate. Current capital structure, 40% long-term debt, 60% equity. Anticipated earnings to be retained. Ito yung retained earnings natin, 3 million. The firm has a 40% marginal tax rate. Number 47, dito ang mag-focus. So, 47, the after-tax cost of the new bond issue. Tingin ka dun sa fourth bullet, tama ba class? 10% yung coupon rate natin, tama? And alam natin, yung cost of debt, alright, is just the coupon rate or effective rate times 1 minus tax rate. Ano yung tax rate natin? According to the last bullet is 40%. So 1 minus 40% or 10% times 60%, that is 6%. Sagot natin for number 47, boy, 6%. Number 48, the cost of using retained earnings. So ano nga ba yan? Gagamitin natin dito? Well, yung dividend growth model, right? Kasi hindi ka pwedeng gumamit ng CAPM dito. Wala namang given para sa CAPM, right? So dividend next year or D1, how much yung D1? Sa bullet number 2 is 3 pesos, tama? Over yung market price, sa bullet number 1 is 60. Don't forget na i-add yung growth rate na 10%, nandun sa third bullet. So 3 over 60 plus 0.1, you have 15%. Okay, 48, cost of retained earnings natin is dog 15%. Let's go to 49. If the company must assume a 20% flotation cost on new stock issuances, what is the cost of the new common stock? Well, actually, same lang naman sa ng formula for the cost of retained earnings. Ang difference lang, merong flotation cost or stock issuance cost kapag mag-i-issue tayo ng bagong stocks. So, 3 pesos yung dividend natin next year, pero yung price mo na 60, ininet mo na yan sa flotation cost. Okay? Flotation cost is 20%, therefore yung net is 80%. 60 times 80%, that's 48. Okay, 3 over 48 plus 0.1, kasi yung growth rate natin is 10%, 16.25%. Number 49, dog is the final answer. Take note, mas mataas yung cost of common stock natin than your retained earnings kasi meron tayong flotation cost. Number 50, the maximum capital expansion that can be supported in the coming year without resorting to external equity financing is. Okay, for number 50, ang ginawa ko lang dyan class, tama ba may retained earnings tayo na 3 million according to the second to the last bullet. May retained earnings yan. Greenhouse up ko lang. Okay? Ang capital structure natin, 40% debt, 60% equity. Yung retained earnings, equity yan. Tama ba? So, 3 million, divide ko by 60%, sagot ko dyan is 5 million. For number 50, C is the correct answer. Sir, bakit ganun? Pwede mo bang i-prove yan? Ganito yung class. Kung ang kailangan nating capital is 5 million, ang total capital na kailangan natin is 5 million. 40% nun, the debt, is 2 million. Utangin natin sa bangko yan. 60% is 3 million, which is yung equity. Meron tayong retained earnings sa 3 million. Tama? So, ibig sabihin class, yung maximum na capital na hindi tayo magre-resort dun sa pag-issue ng additional shares, 5 million. Let's say, ang kailangan ang capital natin is 6 million. Edi may 1 million ka na kailangan kukunin mo yon from issuance of shares. Alright? So, ganoon lang siya. Kaya, ang nangyari dito, up to 5 million, pwede natin gamitin is debt and yung retained earnings natin. Pag nag-exceed ng 5 million, mag-i-issue na tayo ng bagong shares. Alright? That's why 50 yung sagot natin. 5 million yung sagot natin for number 50. Okay, next, 51. Dito ka mag-focus sa 51. Disregarding the previous questions, assuming that the after-tax cost of debt is 10%, cost of RE 14, cost of common stock 16, if capital expansion needs 7 million, what is the after-tax weighted average cost of capital? So we know, hanggang 5 million lang, tama? Yung pag-RE ka. So ibig sabihin, in excess, gagamit tayo ng shares, okay? Or common stock. So ang gagawin ko dyan, class, yung 7 million, alright? Yung 7 million, debt to equity mo is 40-60, alright? So, 7 million times 40% is 2.8 million. Utangin natin sa bangko yan. Yung 60% equity yan, 4.2 million. Dalawa yung composition ng equity natin. Meron tayong retained earnings and common stock. Gamitin mo yung retained earnings sa 3 million and then mag-i-issue tayo ng common stock na 1.2 million. So, anong nangyari class, yung 7 million na capital na kailangan natin, 2.8 million utangin natin sa bank. RE natin gagamitin natin 3 million. 1.2 million gagamitin natin sa issuance of new shares, alright? Yun yung gagamitin mo na weights to compute our weighted average cost of capital. So, 10% daw yung cost of debt, 10% times 2.8 over 7 yung total. Tama? Times 2.8 over 7, plus 14%. Ito yung retained earnings times 3 over 7 plus 16%. Yan yung cost of common stock times 1.2 over 7. Makukuha mo dyan, class, 12.74%. Boy, for number 51. Okay, 52. It is generally more expensive for a company to finance with equity capital than with debt capital because, because letter D, investors are exposed to greater risk with equity capital. Kasi class, kapag debt, yung interest fixed yan eh. Tama? So kahit anong mangyari, fixed rate yung babayaran mo. Tama? Kapag equity, nakadepende sa net income kung gaano kalaki yung dividends na ibabayad natin doon sa mga shareholders. Alright? So, ibig sabihin, mas risky sa point of view ni shareholders kaysa sa creditors. Kung mas risky yan, mas mataas yung required return nila or yung cost of capital. Kaya pa nagko-compute ka, tingnan mo class, sa number 47, yung cost of debt mo 6% lang. Pero yung cost of equity mo 16%. So, mas mataas talaga yung cost of equity than cost of debt. Dog for number 52. Number 53. If ABC accepts this opportunity, its after-tax income will increase by, tingnan natin, ABC company can increase annual sales by 150,000. So, focus tayo dito, class. Increase daw yung sales na 150. And then, if it sells to a new riskier group of customers, then collectible accounts is expected to be 16% of sales. 150,000 times 16%, budget expense mo dyan is 24,000. And collection cost will be 4%. 150,000 times 0.04. Collection cost natin, 6,000. The manufacturing and selling expenses, 75% of sales. 150,000 times 0.75. You have 112,500. Compute natin, class, yung income before tax natin, 150,000 minus 24,000 minus 6,000 minus 112,500. You get 7,500. Pero before tax yun. Ang tanong dito, how much do you increase after-tax income? 38% yung effective tax rate. Therefore, multiply mo siya sa 62% times 0.62, 4,650. Increase net income natin, 4,650 for number 53. Boy is the correct answer. Number 54, which group of ratios would be useful in evaluating the effectiveness of working capital management? Working capital, ibig sabihin current assets minus current liabilities. So, ang tiyatanong sa atin dito, basically, yung liquidity ratio. Yung A, profit margin, asset test, hindi, profitability yan. Boy, yung sagot mo sa number 54. Okay? Asset test ratio, inventory turnover, average collection period, liquidity yan. Letter C naman, inventory turnover, kaya lang may times interest, which is profitability. Debt to equity is solvency. Okay, letter D, okay sana, kaya lang may return on equity, which is profitability. So, ang consistent lang sa atin is boy for liquidity. Number 5, a firm's financial risk is a function of how it manages and maintains its debt. Which one of the following sets of ratios characterizes the firm with greatest amount of financial risk? Pag sobrang taas ng debt natin, right? Dog yung best answer natin for number 55 is dog. Okay? High debt to equity ratio, low interest coverage, or yung yung low interest coverage or yung yung ratio natin na times interest earned. Yun. So, mababa daw yung times interest earned natin and volatile daw yung return on equity. So, that poses the greatest amount of financial risk. Dog for number 55. Okay. Number 56. Okay, concentrate tayo, class, dito for number 56. What was the company's quick ratio? Last year, WFU had cost of sales of 200 million and its inventory turnover was 5. Okay, so, alam natin, class, na yung inventory turnover, ang formula natin dyan is cost of goods sold over inventory. Okay? So, yung cost of goods sold in the problem is 200 million. Inventory turnover is 5. Alright? So, ibig sabihin, yung inventory natin, okay, cost of goods sold 200, inventory turnover 5, divide mo yan, inventory mo is 40 million. Tama? Next, the company's current assets totaled 100 million and its current ratio was 1.2. Current ratio natin is current assets over current liabilities. 1.2 daw yung current ratio. Given sa problem, current assets 100 million. 100 divided by 1.2, current liability natin is 83.33 million. Right? Ang tanong sa atin, what was the company's quick ratio? Ano ba yung quick ratio? Current assets, excluding inventory, over current liabilities. Okay? Current assets natin in the problem is 100 million. Inventory natin, na-compute natin earlier, is 40. 100 minus 40, 60 million yung denominator natin. Over current liabilities, na-compute natin, 83.33. So, 60 over 83.33. Makukuha mo dyan class is 72%. For number 56, 0.72 makukuha natin dyan for number 56. That is boy. Alright? Number 57. What is the maximum additional amount of ABC will be able to borrow? So dito ka class, mag-focus sa number 57. ABC company has total debt of 420 and shareholders equity of 700. So 420 and 700. ABC is seeking capital to fund an expansion. ABC is planning to issue an additional 300. Additional 300, therefore yung equity mo na is 1 million. Tama? And is negotiating with the bank to borrow the additional funds. The bank is requiring debt to equity 0.75. Dapat yung debt mo, yung numerator, and yung equity mo, denominator, pag dinivide mo yan, dapat 0.75. Right? So, how much daw yung pwede nating loan pa from the bank? 420,000 plus X. Yung X yung additional loan natin. Over total equity, dapat 0.75 yan. Solve ka for X. Okay? Algebra. Kukuha mo dyan, 330,000. Boy for number 57. So, kapag nag-borrow ka ng 330, add mo yan sa 420,000. So, 330,000 plus 420, divide mo sa 1 million, 0.75. Okay? So, boy for number 57. 58. So, yung 58 natin. 58 is, ito. Focus ka dito, class. So, yeah. 58 is, tama ba? Yun ba yung 58 natin? Okay, sige. What were the total net sales? BA's net AR were 500,000 and 600,000 December 31. Net cash sales 200, AR turnover 5. Ano yung formula natin for AR turnover? Credit sales. Credit sales yung numerator ha, hindi total sales. Credit sales over average AR. Okay? So, AR turnover daw natin is 5. Credit sales, hindi siya given, pero alam natin yung average AR. 500 beginning, 600 ending, therefore yung average niya is 550. Okay? So, 5 times 550,000, yung credit sales mo, 2,750,000. Eh, may nakalagay na cash sales sa 200, 2,750 plus 200, 2,950,000. Yan yung total sales natin. So, yung total sales, basically, yun yung sum of credit and cash sales. Number 59. Okay, so dito tayo mag-focus sa number 59. Which, sabi dyan, the firm wishes to maximize the income. Which bank should the firm choose? A firm has daily cash receipts of 300,000. 300,000 you receive every day. And is interested in acquiring a lockbox service in order to reduce collection time. Bank wants lockbox service cost 3,000 per month and will reduce collection time by 3 days. So basically, meron tayong 4 banks dito. And then tingin ka sa baba, if money market rates are expected to average 6% per year. Alright? So ganito ginawa ko dyan, class. Kinumpute ko yung interest na ma-earn natin, ima-minus natin yung cost of the lockbox. Alright? Si Bank 1, sabi dyan, 300,000 daw daily receipts natin. Tama? Matitipid natin is 3 days. 300,000 times 3 days times 6% times 0.06, interest mo dyan is 54,000. How much yung cost? Nakalagay 3,000 per month. 3,000 times 12, that is 36,000. 54 minus 36, you have 18,000. Gawin mo yan for banks 1, 2, 3, and 4. Piliin mo yung pinakamataas kasi nakalagay maximize income. Makakompute mo dyan si bank 4, pinakamataas, 24,000. 59, dog yung sagot natin dyan. Number 60. Okay, number 60. Dito naman kayo mag-focus. Alright? So, let's see. Question is, assuming 360 days a year, the change in policy would result in incremental investment in receivables. So, let's say the given, MS Corporation has sales of 3 million. Its credit period and average collection period are both 30 days. Okay, so yun muna, yun yung existing natin. So, ang ginawa ko dyan, 3 million. Alright, yung total na sales natin, i-divide natin by 360. Okay, 8,333 per day. Alright, and then times natin sa 30 days, you get 250,000. Ano yung 250,000 class? Yan yung balance ng AR natin. Kasi every 30 days na tayo nakaka-collect. Tama? 8,333 per day times 30, 250,000. Yan yung average AR natin per day. Now, the general manager intends to extend the credit to 45 days, which will increase sales by 10%. So, 3 million yung original sales natin times 1.1, kasi increase daw ng 10%, you get 3.3 million. Tama? 3.3 million, i-divide natin by 360 para makuha natin yung per day. Pero yung nakalagay dyan, credit period natin magiging 45 days na. Times 45, makukuha mo dito average AR, 412,500. So from 250,000 naging 412,500, increase in AR natin is 162,500. Pero hindi dyan matatapos yung solution natin, okay? Pag tinanong, how much you increase in AR? 162,500. Pero ang question sa atin, incremental investment. Ano ba yung investment? Bibili ka ng inventory from the supplier, okay? And then magma-mark up ka, ibebenta mo kay customer. Di ba yung AR, yun din yung sales mo. May markup yun, tama? Tanggalin mo yung markup. So multiply mo siya by, nakalagay dyan, variable cost ratio is 40%. Multiply mo siya by 40%. 162,500 times 0.4, you get 65,000. So basically, 65,000, yan yung bibili natin from supplier. Maglalagay tayo ng markup na 60%. Okay? Yun yung AR natin. Ang tanong is, incremental investment, how much yung bibili mo kay supplier? Yun yung investment natin. 60, letter D, 65,000. Okay, so 10 items to go. 61, this is about EOQ. Question sa atin, average inventory. So dito ka naman mag-focus class, okay? A company sells a product with a market price of 3,000. Market price per unit. The business sells an average of 36,000 units annually. EOQ tayo. EOQ is 2 times demand times ordering cost over carrying cost. 2, constant yan. 36,000 daw yung units in demand natin, okay? Based on a company study covering the last 5 years, it was found that the annual carrying cost is 5, denominator yan. And then ordering cost is 100. Alright. So, computin natin yung EOQ 2 times 36,000 times 100 divided by 5, square root natin, you get 1,200. EOQ natin to, okay? And then, syempre, pag average inventory, EOQ over 2. Alright? So, ito siya. EOQ over 2, that's 600. Pero take note na meron pang safety stock dyan. And the ordering cost. Okay, the store is open 7 days a week. Delivery time is 5 days. Since it normally takes time before an order is placed, filled up and delivered, the company's manager decided to keep a safety stock equivalent to a month's sales. Okay, 30 days. Tama? So, kung 36,000 per day, 36,000 units per day, alright, i-divide natin by 360 days. Tama ba 100 units per day yung demand sa atin? Tama? Eh, isang buwan daw, 30 days. 100 units per day na bibenta natin, safety stock natin is for 30 days, so that's 3,000. Tama? EOQ over 2, 1,200 over 2, that's 600. Plus safety stock na 3,000, 3,600 yung average inventory natin. 61, boy is the final answer. Let's go to 62. A firm finances all its seasonal inventory needs from the local bank at an effective interest cost of 9%. The firm's supplier promises to extend trade credit on terms that will match the 9%. Assuming a 360-day year, the terms that the supplier would most likely to offer is, so basically, yung cost of giving up the discount, okay, compute natin yan for A, B, C, and D. Kung ano yung pinakamalapit sa 9%, yun yung sagot natin. So if you look at letter C, ito siya, 2%, okay, over 98%, over 360 over 90, yun yung credit period natin, minus 10, the discount period, let's compute. So 0.02 divided by 0.98 times 360 divided by 80, compute mo dyan class, is 9.18%. Okay, ang pinakamalapit is letter C, kasi ang basis na ang comparison natin is the 9% na i-offer ng bank. Alright, so letter C yung sagot natin for number 62. If you compute for A, B, and D, malayo na sa 9%. Number 63, which of the following terms in a short-term bank loan would provide the cheapest cost, right, of financing? Actually, pamimilian mo lang dyan is boy or C. So boy, zero transaction cost, 10% compensating balance, and discounted interest. So, okay sana yung zero transaction cost. Kaya lang, may compensating balance ka, masyadong malaki, 10%. Discounted pa yung interest. While letter C, 5% transaction cost, zero compensating balance, and regular interest. So, letter C yung best answer mo dyan. Kahit mag-assume ka ng figures, okay, C yung magiging sagot mo dyan. Number 64. Learning curve naman tayo. Sige. Management of a bookkeeping company observed that the average time spent to perform identical tasks using a software decreases as the number of tasks performed increases. The following information on the new use of the software was collected. Number of tasks performed, nadodouble siya. Nakita mo ba? 1, 2, and 4. Tama? Nadodouble. Total time and average time. Alam natin class yung learning curve, yung average time mo, okay, nagdi-decrease every time na nagdo-double yung work or yung output natin. Napansin mo ba yung 10 minutes na average time naging 9 minutes? 9 minutes naging 8.1 minutes. So ilang percent yung learning curve mo dyan? 9 over 10 is 90%. 8.1 over 9 is 90%. Therefore, learning curve natin is 90%. Ang tanong sa atin dyan, if this learning effect continues, what is the average time to perform each of the first 8 tasks? Again, every time na magdo-double siya. 1, 2, 4. Pag na-double yung 4, magiging 8. Tama ba? So, gagawin ko lang dyan, class. 8.1 minutes, yun yung average time natin kapag 4 yung output natin. Multiply mo sa learning curve, 8.1 times 0.9. Yung average time natin for 8 tasks is 7.29. So 8.1 minutes, yun yung para sa 4 units or 4 na output times 90% learning curve, 7.29. A for number 64. 65. PERT is widely used to plan and measure progress towards scheduled events. PERT is combined with cost data to produce a PERT cost analysis. Yun yung PERT CPM or the critical path method. Boy, yung sagot mo dyan. Evaluate and optimize trade-offs between time of an event's completion and its cost to complete. Okay, so we know ito yung use ng PERT CPM natin. Number 66, in a critical path analysis, okay, PERT CPM pa rin, if slack time in an activity exists, the activity, kapag slack time, hindi yan critical. Okay, non-critical yan. Kapag na-delay natin yan, letter C, could be delayed without delaying the overall project. Yan yung mga pwede natin i-delay. Tawag natin doon slack time. Letter C for number 66. 67. Okay, refer to the information below pertaining to a project company which were derived from decision theory, decision making under risk. Okay, so dito ka, 67. Expected value with perfect information. Kapag alam natin lahat ng information. Okay? Kapag nag-decide tayo, okay, nag-make tayo ng mga decisions, yung 50,000, yun yung best case scenario. Alright? Yun yung ibig sabihin ng expected value with perfect information. Ulitin ko. Expected value with perfect information. Kapag alam natin lahat ng information, ito yung best case scenario, 50,000. Expected value without perfect information. Okay? Kapag hindi natin alam lahat ng information, pero ginawa natin yung best courses of action, yung expected profit natin or payoff natin is 42,100. Expected value of perfect information, ito yung willing tayo na bayaran, price na willing tayo bayaran, para makuha natin yung perfect information. Kaya pag in-add mo yun to class, yung expected value without and expected value of perfect information, 42,1 plus 7,9, makukuha mo yung expected value with perfect information na 50,000. So, tingnan natin yung choices, kung ano yung true dito. Which of the following statement is true? Using the best strategy under uncertainty, it is expected that the company will earn 42,1, uncertainty. Okay? Without perfect information. So, mali na yung A. B, under a certain decision-making, kapag alam natin lahat ng information, it is expected to earn 50,000. So, mali na yung B. The highest that the company would be willing to pay to gain access to perfect information, 7,9. Iyon yung expected value of perfect information. So, mali yung A, B, and C. Dog yung sagot natin for number 67. 68, about economics. Okay. A banking system with a certain reserve ratio changed its reserves by 1.2 million, which resulted to an increase in total demand deposits by 8 million. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, class, merong, anong tawag na dyan? Money multiplier. Okay? For 68, ito yung sagot ko dyan. Yung formula natin for money multiplier is equal to 1 over the required reserve ratio. So, pwede mong gawin dito, mag-algebra ka, okay? Or pwede mong i-substitute yung choices. Or pwede mong gamitin yung formula. Sinubstitute ko yan, nakuha ko dito is letter C, 15% for number 68. So, ang ginawa ko dyan, class, money multiplier natin is 1 over 15%. So, ilan yun? 1 over 15%, that is 6.67. So, yung initial deposits natin na 1.2 million, multiply mo yan sa money multiplier na 6.67, makukuha mo yung 8 million, which is consistent dun sa given natin. Therefore, for 68, sinubstitute ko per choices, C yung nakuha kong sagot dyan, 15%. Number 69, demand and supply, economics pa rin. If both the demand and supply for a good increase, the equilibrium quantity of the good will, so ito yung demand and supply curve natin, price and quantity, ito yung supply, ito yung demand. Pag nag-increase sila, nag-move sila to the right, okay? So yung quantity mo, from dito, okay, magiging, from this point, magiging dito yung quantity mo. So tataas yung quantity natin, alright? So, originally, ito lang siya, pero mag-i-increase siya kapag nag-increase yung supply and demand natin. A for number 69. And last question, which type of economic market structure is characterized by few large sellers of a product or service engaging primarily in non-price competition? Pag few large sellers, we know this is oligopoly, letter D. Alright, so that concludes our discussion on MS Final Preboards.
Please help me welcome the incredible